welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. I'm Patricia Miller, Executive Editor of Cannabis and Tech Today. We're here at MJBizCon at the Polyscience Summit Research booth. Special thanks to our title sponsor, Polyscience. Joining me today is Nicolas Guarino, CEO of Naturae. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So tell our audience a little bit about Naturae.
Yeah, so Naturae is a adult use distributor in New York, a manufacturer and cultivator for cannabis products. We're focused on oil-based products exclusively, so we sell vapes, gummies, edibles, tinctures, and in general, what we're doing with our product development, with all of our in-house brands that we're building, we've had the amazing opportunity to build these brands in New York, is to try to close the gap of quality and effects in between flower-based products and oil-based products, which I think anybody that consumes cannabis can kind of relate to. Like, very often oil-based products just don't quite hit the mark in the same way with effect and flavor that flower does, that a joint will or a bowl will. So we're working on that, and in parallel we have all the other challenges of being a distributor in New York. So we have to build our brands, and we have to offer them at a price that's as close as we can be to the unlicensed market, which is very real and is next to us there. So that's really what we do. And I mean, we've existed now for 8 years. We came from the CBD world. We've always been focused on extraction. And this adult use opportunity in New York has just allowed us to take that further and to start manufacturing our own in-house brands and distributing them across the state. Yeah.
It's such a unique market. Maybe you can shine some light on this for some of our listeners, because I was surprised. I went to New York City for the first time in my life earlier this year, and I thought the dispensaries I was seeing around were legal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, doing some research, many of them were not.
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them are not unlicensed distributors. So share with our audience some of what that experience is like and how you're approaching that.
Yeah, I mean, it's super tough. Essentially what happened was New York legalized through the MRTA adult use cannabis in New York in 2021. And they decriminalized everything, and then there was a huge gap in time in between that and when legal stores or applications even existed for producers and retailers to sell into the legal market. Yeah. So during that 2-year gap, everything was fully decriminalized, and New York City being the city that it was, there was a lot of opportunists that said, like, okay, well, let's see how far we can push this. And like it started with like bodegas that would like, they'll bring down something from the back and bring you some flour, maybe some pre-rolls, right? That was like the beginning of 2021 when the MRTA first passed, and it's evolved like very quickly, where now since there aren't consequences, right, and it's so difficult to enforce, which I understand from the enforcer's point of view, and this gap isn't necessarily their fault, that essentially So we have smoke shops just bringing stuff from the back. Then we've got stores that are like starting to put some signs in the front. To now there's like full-blown grand openings with like announcements on social media of stores that aren't licensed, right? That just, and they're just bringing in product from out of state and they're selling it. So I think it's incredibly challenging, but I think where everybody makes a mistake is like, we just need to increase enforcement. If we just increase enforcement, then we'll shut these guys down. There's no chance that you're going to be able to shut them down unless you want to start War on Drugs 2.0, right? You're going to have to put everybody in jail. There's no way to do that. So what you have to do is open more stores. You asked me about New York, and there's only 26 licensed legal stores in the entire state, a state of 20 million people. Wow. So one store per million people. So we need,
crazy. When you put it like that, yeah.
Yeah, so we need more stores, and then we need the tax system to be rationalized so that we can compete in price points. I guarantee you, if we have enough accessibility and the price points are there so that consumers can buy their vapes and smoke them every week. I smoke a vape every week. I couldn't afford it for $120. I could afford maybe $50, right? So if the taxes are rationalized, 280E is also a big component of that. Mm-hmm. Then the consumer in New York is just naturally going to go to the legal stores, and the education campaigns will be big for that, but naturally they'll go over. There's not this 30 or 40 year legacy like California has,
Yeah.
right? Where everybody's, they've known their dealer for a long time, and there's a strong loyalty there. New York is all about convenience, and that stuff has been shipped there, and there's no loyalty to the brokers that brought it into New York, right? So I think it's a matter of time and just like stores opening. It's not like let's attack the unlicensed market and that way it's a multi-headed hydra. It's just going to continue to. So yeah. Anyway, went a little farther with the unlicensed thing, but yeah.
That was very insightful, and I think an important part of making some of those changes is giving the public the education about what's happening and really what the concerns are with using unlicensed products.
Yeah.
So you're making a tested, safe product for people. And when you're getting unlicensed products, you don't know. It's
certainly no. I've been smoking unlicensed product for most of my life. Let's say for only like the past couple of years, I've exclusively smoked licensed product because I got educated on it, right? Like, I could go on and list all the scary things that could be in there. Like there's a lot of them.
Especially, resin and oil-based products. I
feel like especially oil-based products.
Than flour.
Absolutely. I mean, what's the solution for unfortunately, for most of the processing labs when they get a batch of distillate or of rosin that's got pesticides in it? Oh, it's okay. Send it to edibles and send it out of state. It'll get diluted down in the edibles, right? And we'll still be able to put it into the market because each edible needs such a small amount of oil, 10 milligrams, right, in there. Wow. So the pesticides dilute out, but you're still consuming it. And okay, fair enough. Maybe that happens in most agricultural crops, like in tomatoes and et cetera. You're going to consume a small quantity of pesticides. But if you have the alternative not to, I think everybody would choose that.
Yeah. I think especially this is a bit of an aside, but there's been research lately that pesticide ingestion can cause fertility issues. Among a myriad of other problems. So I think if people realize they can access a safer product and preferably, like you said, at an accessible price point, they're going to choose that every time.
Totally. And I think that point you just made, I want to go back to it for a second about that oil-based products are particularly important there is I haven't heard it enough and I haven't even kind of thought about it. So I'm just kind of realizing how important that is. Like, I understand the point of like, hey, look, I've been smoking weed flower for the past 50 years and I've had no problems and here I am alive today, right? Like that's always the point against safety. But with oil-based products, you're taking the weed and then you're concentrating everything 10 to 15 times, right? And then you're ingesting it.
Right.
And so the amount of either heavy metals, pesticides, whatever other fillers can be used because it's very easy to add vitamin E acetate into an oil, right? But you can't add vitamin E to flour. Like, fair enough, flour is you can see mold on the flour. It's a lot easier to tell with flour, in a lot of cases. In some cases you can't, but it's a lot easier to tell with flour. With oil-based products, it's a totally different story. You can conceal it very easily and you can be consuming concentrated quantities of unsafe substances, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's just a point you can't really stress enough.
Right.
with concentrates. So let's get back to Naturae. So what's on the horizon for 2024? What are you excited about, looking forward to?
I am most excited about our solventless program, right? So our brands, Jaunty, our brands are organized by the extract that we use to make them. So Jaunty is our distillate brand, and everything that we put into Jaunty and how we think about the audience for Jaunty is a distillate product because we believe the different oils have different effects and different use cases, right? And then Resonators is our solventless brand, and it had we have excellent gummies under Resonators, but we weren't able to release vapes. We weren't able to release concentrates because the quality of our fresh frozen from 2022 just wasn't there. Like, we didn't have the right genetics. We didn't have the right harvesting process for fresh frozen. And we made an incredible connection with Alex Kupamil from Critical Concentrates in California. He was working to develop our solventless extraction room and program, and we just had such incredible chemistry and got along so well that we were like, look, for concentrates, let's just bring Critical on as a brand. So we made that partnership with Critical. We're going to be releasing like 6 flavors of cold cure live rosin, and 6 flavors of fresh press live rosin, which is kind of like the anti-unlicensed market one because it's all cold chain product. It has to be cold, fresh press rosin. So it's hard to export or bring into any of these unlicensed stores. Like you really, so that's the product that I'm most excited about, and just our solventless program in general. Like we really this year have proven with Alex's help and all of his genetics and his connections to better genetics and the process of harvest. We've proven that with an outdoor crop, we can create a live rosin that's the quality of an indoor crop extracted live rosin. And that's just incredible because we're going to be able to offer live rosin at way more competitive prices, at way more accessible prices, is honest, let's say. So I'm super excited for 2024, critical concentrates launch, resonators, vapes, everything that we're going to do with solventless from now forward. It's just going to continue to elevate and get better and make our whole portfolio, all the distillate products, all of the effect-based products with minor cannabinoids are going to get elevated as well along with critical concentrates. So that's what I'm most excited about for sure.
That's awesome. And it sounds like a really diverse product lineup you've got.
Yeah, within the oil-based categories, the only product we don't cover is beverages, and it's because we're kind of waiting to see the growth there to justify the investments that we'd need to make and the complications that would create for our distribution infrastructure.
It's early days, you know?
Yeah, it's super early. It's super early, and beverages are tough, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've shared some really great insights.
Thank you.
Where can our audience go to kind of follow your story and keep up with the brand?
Yeah, I mean, definitely go to naturaenewyork.com. That has all the information on our full portfolio. And then at John T. NY is our most active Instagram account where we're constantly posting stories and posting everything that's on there. So yeah, John T. NY, follow it, check it out. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with us, Nicolas. I
Thank
really
you.
learned a lot, and I appreciate your insights.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
So from Nicolas and myself, Patricia Miller, that concludes this episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. And until next time, stay elevated.
Hey, hello, I'm Tommy Chong. If you want something really nice in your laboratory, buy DuraChill. I'm telling you, if you're not using this DuraChill, you're not really in the pot business. You're just on the fringe of it. So if you really want to get serious, man, this is what you need. You need a DuraChill in your life. You got the technology here to have the cleanest, purest, healthiest product. I'm impressed. You want me to sell this? Buy it. Try DuraChill or else. If your chiller's down, you ain't making money. And you heard it from me, Tommy Chong.
Brought to you by PolyScience.
This show was produced by Cannabis Tech Today and Pretty Easy Podcasts. Go to prettyeasypodcast.com now if you're looking to get professional production help on your own podcast at an affordable rate. Pretty Easy Podcasts, making podcasting pretty easy.